Hey everybody, it's Kev from Kev's Hobby Showcase, and today I'm going to be continuing my fan coverage of the New York Giants. Um, so just a recap of last week. Dart got his first start, and they won. So I know he's starting again today, and I've been reading articles saying he's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder about the Saints passing up on him in the draft. So let's see. Maybe that'll help add fuel to his fire here. So anyway, um, so far, I mean, you know, like, you know, he did well, last week, but unfortunately, we did lose Malik Neighbors for the year, torn ACL, and if you saw the replay as he jumped up to reach for the ball, he was actually reaching for his knee instead. So it's like he knew it as soon as he left the ground that his knee was is gone. So he's gone for the year. Just add that to the growing list of the walking wounded that we have on this team. I'm amazed at how many injuries this team suffers over the years. It seems like whenever they got something good going, that stand it. A lot of people are blaming the turf, saying that like right underneath the turf is concrete. I don't know how true that is, but if that is true, that's not smart. I figured they would have been smarter than that. And I know the Jets play on the same field. I don't know how many injuries they've been suffering. But yeah, it's if that is the issue, then maybe they should do something to resolve it, wouldn't they? I mean, they make enough money. I mean, that stadium is always sold out, so I mean, there's no reason for them not to correct that. Anyway, getting off that. So today, Giants versus Saints at New Orleans. I'm wearing my white jersey today. Well, one of them at least. I got a couple. Um, so yeah, and and also I've been losing weight, so I'm starting to fit into all of them again. So yeah. Anyway, so Giants Saints. Hopefully Dart can continue his streak. Hopefully the defense can continue their dominance. I mean, well, I say dominance, and yes, every dominant defense does. Give up points. So let's not fall into that argument. But yeah, they've been pretty dominant. They've been coming through with the sacks. They've been coming through even with a couple of turnovers here and there. I mean, not a lot, not as much as I would like to see them get, but more than what I've seen them do in the previous years. And yeah, so and also like as far as the pressure goes, Burns, Thibodeau, Carter, the three of them have been doing a very good job, and even Sexy Dexter Lawrence. I mean, last week we saw him tip the ball and then intercept it and almost make it for a pick six, almost. So maybe today he can do the same thing and maybe actually make it all the way for a touchdown. He thought he had it. I saw an interview with him. He thought he had it, and he was kind of a little upset that he didn't. I don't blame him. I would have been upset too if I had run all that way and then didn't make it into the end zone. But anyway, let's hope that the winning that the winning turns into a streak. Okay, so at halftime, we'll see how they're doing, and I'll give you my my thoughts on it. So stay tuned for halftime. Well, it's halftime, and they're losing 16-14. Well, I am pissed, and here's why. So, Giants were up 14-6. What does the defense do when they have them starting at their own at the Saints starting at their own 13? They give up on one play an 87-yard touchdown pass. Guy was untouched. Receiver went through the whole defense untouched. Nobody covered him all the way. Now it's 14-13. So, go back and forth. Gets closer to the end of the half, and I think it was close to the 2 minute. No, it was actually past the 2 minute warning, and they line up to kick a field goal to go ahead 16-14, and they miss. Giants get the ball. Yay! Right? Thinking they start driving. Wonderful, great. Except they throw it a ball. Slayton catches it after 2 drops, and fumbles it. Fucking fumbles it. So, of course, now the Saints drive down. The Giants are fortunate it's not 20-14 right now, that it's only 16-14. And they are fortunate that they get the ball first, second half. So, what do I want to see now? Well, number one, defense has got to step up more. They have to. They can't. If they're not gonna run up the scoreboard, they have to keep stopping them. When you have the Saints down, you got to keep them down. I don't care what the record is. When you have your opponent down, you got to keep him down. Second, I seriously think that if Slayton does not redeem himself in the second half, that they should seriously consider looking for an available veteran receiver and signing him to the roster, because that was unacceptable. I'm sorry. Twice he had the ball, long passes too, in his hands and dropped it. Then, on that last drive, he had the ball, ran with it, a couple of steps, so it couldn't be ruled incomplete, and then lets it get stripped right out of his hands. No, you can't allow that. You can't accept that. You can't dismiss that. You have to address it. So either Slayton has to redeem himself, or he has to accept the spot on the bench and let someone else play who will actually catch the ball and not fumble it. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm being a bit too harsh, but still, I'm sorry. When the game is this close, you can't excuse stuff like that. No, you can't. So, second half, let's see what happens. The Giants should be winning right now. They should be. They absolutely should be winning right now. And, one last thing. I'm sorry for the beeping outside. One last thing. I'm sorry, but for running back, I know you want to have split, time between Scadaboo and Singletary, but Singletary's not up to the task. Scadaboo's running better. I mean, maybe put Singleton in for like a play or two to give Scadaboo a rest, but you can't go a whole drive without putting Scadaboo in. You can't. You can't go a whole drive with Singletary in there because he's not doing it. There was a pass, it was a pass like on one of the drives on first time. I think it was the first time that they had a drive where they didn't score. The first two drives they scored on. So he dart through the ball to the flats straight to Singletary, and he dropped it right in his hands, and he dropped it. And you could tell DeBull was furious because when he went back to the sidelines after the drive was done, he ripped into him a little bit. So yeah, things they got to step up, and they got to do the right thing, and they got to change they got to change what's not working to what is working, and they got to change the personnel to those who are not going to do it to those who are. Okay, and by now they should know who those people are. It's week 5, so all right. So I'm looking forward to a very productive and hopeful second half. I'm hoping that that would at least maybe with getting the ball first, maybe they could set the tone, and and actually just maybe get ahead and then pull away. That'd be nice. But you can't lose this game. If you want to make this a season, if you want to make this a good season, a productive season, or even just a halfway decent season, you can't lose this game. You can't lose to a team that's 0-4. You can't have a letdown game week 5. You can't. All right, so let's see what happens second half, and I'll see you then. Game's over. 26-14. This is the reason why a lot of me and a lot of my fellow Giants fans never really celebrate too much. Why? Because we know that our team can just fall flat on their face, which is what they did today. There's a lot to talk about here. Basically, the Giants after the first 2 drives, which were touchdowns, didn't do anything, and the last, well, not the last, but 5 straight drives ended in turnovers. 13 points off of them. I mean, you can't win when you do that. You can't win. I mean, I just don't understand it. It does. I'm telling you, it does not look good for this coaching staff. It does not look good for this front office. It does not look good for them because the Giants are a losing franchise. That's what they've become now. That's what they have been for a while, actually. When you really want to think about it. Last week, yeah, it was nice to have a win. It was nice to have a win against a team that hadn't lost yet. But they should have won this game. Saints were 0-4. They should have won this game. They came in looking like they were going to win. But what happened? The Saints made adjustments and stopped the Giants. The Saints made adjustments and dominated the rest of the game. That's what the Saints did. What did the Giants do? They just kept on plugging away with the same stuff that they were doing, on the drives before that wasn't working. They just kept on doing the same. The Giants don't adjust. The Giants don't change. I mean, they keep on depending on players who don't produce. They keep on, plugging away, and I mean, they keep on basically putting up a defense that always leaves someone glaringly wide open. It happens so many times. It really does. I mean, this team is a team, and it's been like this for a while now. This team is a team that other teams play to feel good about themselves. I bet you the Saints feel great right now. First win of the season against the Giants. I bet you they feel absolutely ecstatic. And next week, on Thursday night, the Giants got the Eagles at home. I bet you the Eagles can't wait. I'll bet you the Eagles cannot wait to face this team. They'll be like, "Oh, easy win." I guarantee you that's what they're thinking. Easy win. They won't say it because you really can't say that, publicly, because then if you don't win, it's like a huge embarrassment. But I guarantee you secretly in their heads they're thinking, "Oh, no, no big deal, easy win," because that's what the Giants have become. That's what the Giants have been, actually, and I shouldn't say become. That's what they've been. They've been a team that you can't wait to play because you know it's going to be very good chance of a win. You know that they're going to shoot themselves in the foot, and do something stupid to give the game away. Because that's what the Giants did. They gave this game away. 3 fumbles, 2 interceptions. One of those fumbles resulted in a touchdown. And the guy picked it up and ran it all the way. You know? So yeah, this season, I don't see much. This is going to be another season where they win a small handful of games. I mean, I really, something, the preseason, which means nothing. I really thought more of this team. They looked a lot better than what they're showing now. I don't know what it is in the preseason that that they were able to play so much better. I mean, I can't and not for nothing. Yeah, Neighbors is down. You would have thought that one of these receivers would have stepped up. None of them really did. I mean, Bellinger, the tight end. He actually, he got a lot more receptions than normal. That's only because they haven't been playing him much. So yeah, you put him in. I think he got 4 receptions. I don't think he got more than that. But still, excuse me. Still, the when you don't play a player, and suddenly they're in and they're racking up stats. Yeah, it looks like they're stepping up. But the thing is that if you had him in all those other games for the same amount of time, he probably would have put up the same stats. That's the thing. So I don't really look into that too much. What I look into is what did they do? Especially at halftime, what changes did they make? They made no changes, no adjustments, nothing. So Daboll and his coaching staff, it's not looking too good for them right now. I mean, I don't know if team ownership has a solution because it sure looks like they do not. I don't think the Maras or the Tishes have any idea what to do to make this franchise a winner again because they just keep losing. They'll have a win here and there, but they just keep losing. Next week, like I said, at home against the Eagles. The Eagles are the defending champs. The Eagles are a playoff and Super Bowl team. The Eagles, well, I think they're losing right now to the Broncos, but the game ain't over. But still, even if they lose this game, they're 4-1. I don't really think the Giants stand a chance next week. Well, on Thursday, it's a short week, and I won't even blame that for the loss because the Eagles have a short week too. So let's see what happens next week. I really don't see anything positive going into next week. I don't see any reason to believe that they're going to change or that they're going to win. Again, I really think that they should look over, to see if there's a veteran receiver available that can possibly, I don't know, catch the ball downfield maybe, because just nearly every throw downfield was either incomplete or intercepted. Maybe someone who can catch the ball without fumbling it. Someone who can actually make a difference, like Neighbors was doing. They need some, and even it's like all those fumbles. Slayton, Dart. Maybe Dart should concentrate more on throwing the damn ball instead of trying to run with it. And if he is going to run with it, don't hold it like it's a freaking loaf of bread. And then Scatterboo, of all people. I think he was blaming it on his gloves. No, you can't do that. You can't blame it on your gloves. You fumbled the ball. You let the ball get stripped from you. It's on you. So I really don't see a lot of positives here. I see a lot of negatives. But let's see what happens next week. All right. So, my fellow Giants fans, like, subscribe, and share. this video with any other Giant fan who's as disgusted about this team as I am right now. And I'll see you on Thursday. Hopefully, you know what? Maybe they'll surprise us against the Eagles, but I just don't see it. All right, see you then.